can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, the Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Also, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any of my videos. Make sure you hit that like button because it really helps the channel out. We're going to be talking about Wonder Woman number 14, written by Tom King, with art by Daniel Sampere, colors by Tomeo Mori, and letters by Clayton Cowles. And while we're on the subject of amazing comics, before we get into today's video, I want to talk to you about an upcoming announcement. I'm talking breaking news straight from New York Comic-Con. I have been informed by both parties at Global Comics and DC that a huge volume of comics are going to be coming to the Global Comics digital comics platform, and I could not be happier because they are going to be bringing some absolute heat. You're going to be able to read titles like Peter Tomasi's Superman, Joshua Williamson's Superman. You're also going to be able to read All-Star Superman. You'll also be able to read some of the most recent Wonder Woman titles like Wonder Woman Dead Earth, as well as lots of personal favorites of the channel like Dark Knights of Steel, as well as the 2022 Blerd Awards winner in the Best Comic of the Year category, The Nice House on the Lake. If you have not already jumped onto the Global Comics bandwagon, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a perfect time to hitch your wagon to it. And you can do this with a huge discount to your first year subscription. And while a lot of times they will give you an entry price of $79.99, if you use my special link or if you download the app and use the promo code GCX Blerd without fear, you will get your first 1 year subscription for 33% off, which is a huge deal. So don't walk, run to the Global Comics app, make sure you use my special link or promo code, and in doing so, enjoy some of the best that the comics industry has to offer on their platform that now has DC. With that said, let's get back to the video. So this issue, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this out here because this is pretty much the issue. Like, you see it literally the second you open the first page. It's pretty much a wrap for Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor is no longer with us. He has shed this mortal coil. He's been sent to the upper room. His jersey has been retired. It is hanging up in the rafters right now of the DCU stadium. Yeah, it's done. He's done so. And he is taken out by none other than the Sovereign. Yes, the new villain that was introduced in Tom King's Wonder Woman series, who has been plaguing Wonder Woman for, I won't say all of the last 13 issues prior to issue 14, but most of them. And it's all because Steve Trevor is Wonder Woman's one true weakness. The Sovereign has tried everything. He has tried manipulations. He has tried setting events in motion to get the Amazons out of the United States, in case the inciting incident being the character Amelie, the Amazon who was aggressively approached in a bar, and she supposedly killed everyone, every man at the very least in the bar. And we move on forward to the Sovereign basically hiring all of Wonder Woman's, or I would say all, but most of Wonder Woman's greatest foes, and bringing them all together. Characters like Dr. Psycho and the Angleman and her wayward sister Cersei and Giganta, Silver Swan. All of these characters the Sovereign has thrown in the path of Wonder Woman, to the point, like, not even just singly, but all at once. And even that didn't work. And though technically he was able to get the drop on her in terms of capturing her after her battle with Grail, it still didn't pay dividends down the road, because even when he tried to use the lasso of lies to manipulate Wonder Woman to the point to have her believe that she was in a subservient state, to have her believe that she was not the hero who she truly is, that didn't work. And when he actually tried using Steve Trevor, he got close. He got close to breaking the wall of Wonder Woman, but even that didn't work. They went through this long stretch of this, I guess, kind of a walk down memory lane between the two characters just shortly before Absolute Power kicked off, where we saw them arguing, laughing, crying together, fighting with each other, also poking jabs at each other, making love, doing all the things that people who have been in love with with each other since the 40s would probably do. And now Steve Trevor is gone. And I don't mean gone in such a way like, oh, we didn't see a body, so he can't really be dead. Like, no, he's actually dead. Diana actually dives down into the deep parts of the ocean and comes out the other side of the river Styx and finds Steve Trevor, like literally sitting on the boat with Karen. Like he's right there. It's a thing. It's a thing. He's gone. He's donezo. And this is broken Wonder Woman. She doesn't know how to cope with this. She is a woman who is incredibly powerful. She stands shoulder to shoulder with characters like Superman, and she has faced down threats as large as Darkseid, and yet this is the one thing that breaks her. And I'll go on a limb here. I'm gonna say this because I actually wrestle with this one a lot. The idea of the death of Steve Trevor completely breaking Wonder Woman, I did find a little odd as I was reading it, but honestly, you also have to kind of know the history as well. Like, if I was a person who didn't really read Wonder Woman comics, either half or most of my life, I would probably be like, yeah, this is kind of weird. But like, yeah, if you know the history, you know that the love affair, the very torrid love affair that Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor have had dates all the way back to 1941. That's over 80 years ago. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And I mean, not to bring my own personal life into it very much, I have not personally lost in this way, but my mother lost her husband, my stepfather, who I actually regarded as my father. I remember what that did to her. And they weren't even married even a third as long as, the relationship between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. Like, they had a smattering of a few years together, and his death broke my mother in such a way, like in very ways. Like, this actually, not gonna lie, this kind of hit home. It's actually hit home when I saw Diana laying on the floor, like clutching the flag that was draped over Steve Trevor's coffin. I literally sat there, like, I had to lean back in my chair a little bit and be like, yeah, that was my mom. That was my mom. And she would have done anything to get him back. And she's never been the same since. And I imagine that would be the same for someone who has literally, not saying that, their love affair actually spans in continuity 80 years, but publication wise, 80 years is a long time, even on a sliding time scale. It's a long time. And you can even across multiple continuity shifts and then continuity mergers, even across all that, they always find their way back to one another. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And while yes, I do find it a little problematic that a female character is pining so hard for a male character just over their death, and that, oh, this is their, because the way I can see it being framed is like, oh, it's her only reason for living. Like, no, it's not her only reason for living, but Steve Trevor was the one thing in all the world that Diana protected that gave her any joy. It's not to say that she didn't have friends, but yeah, there's always gonna be that one person for you that just makes everything worthwhile. And if you don't have that, I feel sorry for you. I would say that I would want that for you. I would want you to find that. But all that aside, the thing that really sells this issue, what kind of brings it all home, is we also get the true origin story of the new character, Trinity. In previous issues of Wonder Woman, it was hinted that Amelie was the mother of Trinity. There's a point where we discover that the Amazon who was at the bar, who fought everyone, apparently she was pregnant. And it was kind of one of those things that was like, oh, she's pregnant. So, and you're judged by the age of Trinity. Maybe this is a child who something happened to Amelie, or maybe Diana and Amelie get in a fight or something, or they work together to fight back against the Sovereign, or whatever the case is, something happens and Amelie is out of the picture, so Diana has to raise Trinity. It makes the most sense when you really think about the evidence that was presented at the time. That actually not the case. Amelie is not Trinity's mother. Diana is. This is interesting just based purely off the notion that Wonder Woman has had one of the more contentious origins in comics history. Early on, it was believed that she was born from clay. Hippolyta had molded Wonder Woman out of clay and Shazam. She is a living person. And during the New 52, this was retconned, and she was made to be the legitimate daughter of Hippolyta and Zeus. And then shortly before the Tom King run began, you get Wonder Woman Historia. This is a title that actually retcons that New 52 origin, because during Doomsday Clock, we learned that the Prime Earth continuity and the New Earth continuity were merged together. Well, this comic gets rid of that altogether, and it's revealed that Wonder Woman was in fact born from clay, as was originally thought. Not only was this child born from clay, but the Greek goddesses of the DC Comics universe helped breathe life into Diana to help make her a real child. So she is no longer the daughter of Zeus by any stretch of the imagination. At best, you could say she's a granddaughter just by proxy, but yeah, that is not the case anymore. So she does something very similar, only it seems she's gonna do it without the aid of any gods, at least not yet. At the end of the issue, we see after her visit with Steve Trevor, she takes a strand of her own hair and bonds it together with a soul thread that is hinted at earlier in the issue. We see the Fates looking for something, and we see that at a certain point, they're talking about a thread that has gone missing. It seems Wonder Woman has taken that thread, bonded it with one of her own, and formed a new thread, placing it upon that child of clay to give birth to Trinity. Now, it makes a lot more sense because we already knew who Trinity was beforehand, but now it even makes more sense. There's a point at the end of the issue where she refers to the child as Elizabeth Marston Prince. Now, we knew about the whole Liz thing. She's been called Liz a lot in the backup stories of the most recent Wonder Woman issues thus far. And yeah, that part isn't news, but now we know where it comes from because it was the name, Elizabeth Marston was the name of Steve Trevor's grandmother. So this is where all that comes from. So the legacy of Steve lives on in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, what this is going to mean for the future as far as Trinity is concerned, hard to say, but we do know Trinity, now that she's being born, she's going to become a bigger factor in the DC Comics universe, something that was already hinted in. Well, technically, she's been around this whole time, because technically all of the story we're getting here is being told in hindsight. The narrator has been the Sovereign this entire time. And we know for a fact that the whole time, the Sovereign has not really been talking to us, the reader. He's been talking to Trinity. This was something that was actually revealed right before the Wonder Woman relaunch. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. But I will definitely say, if you have yet to check out Wonder Woman Historia, I would highly recommend doing it. As a matter of fact, if you have not checked out this right here, Wonder Woman Historia, as you probably saw earlier in this video, I did a little promo talking about the fact that DC Comics is now on Global Comics, which by the way, you can totally get 1 year, your first year subscription of Global Comics for 33% off if you holla at your boy, go hit the link in the description, or if you go to the app, go scan this little QR code I'm gonna try and have up here on the screen somewhere. But yes, if you do that, you can actually go on Global Comics and you can read this right here, Wonder Woman Historia, one of the best Wonder Woman stories out there, other than Wonder Woman Dead Earth, as far as recent just standalone story arcs. But go check that out. I highly recommend it. And yeah, matter of fact, while you're here, also go check out this other video that I think I have somewhere right around here. It's probably about something that you really care about, something you'll probably want to see. I don't know, maybe it's Ninja Turtles or something. I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. But anyway, I'll see you all next time. Peace.